Part 10. Eduardo. The guard comes for me. I have no more strength. I will tell Rimos whatever I know. When I am shoved into the room, I see Rimos is speaking on the phone. He is holding the phone as if it were a small rabid animal. Yes, General Lopez, he says. Yes, if that is what you want. Of course, I understand. He has the desk drawer open again, and with his free hand is fingering the file as he always does when he is angry. He slams down the receiver. In a voice heavy with sarcasm, he says, "It appears General Lopez is after all a merciful man. He has ordered me to let you go in exchange for another prisoner. You have only to agree." What can he mean? I feel a little shiver of hope, so unaccustomed I hardly recognize it. But who is this prisoner? What must I agree to? The door opens. The other prisoner. I turn to look, expecting to see Ramon. It is not Ramon. I can't breathe. I have no voice. It is you, Sylvia. What have you done? Then I remember what Rimos has said. I may be exchanged for another prisoner. Go free while you remain? I would die first. Before I can move, Rimos warns. You are not to make any communication with each other, either by speech or physical contact. If you disobey, there will be punishment for both of you. He does not forbid our looking at each other. I can see the shocked expression on your face, Sylvia, a mirror of how I must look to you. Tears run down your cheeks. You are holding your hands out in front of you. I see the handcuffs have chafed your slim wrists, leaving ugly welts. Before I can think what I am doing, I say to Rimos, "Please take her handcuffs off." He gives me a furious look. Then, as if he has had second thoughts, he nods at the guard, who removes them. Rimos says to you, "Tell me more about this operation your father is going to do on General Lopez." At once I am alert. What operation is this? I give you a warning glance. You think you can make friends with Rimos. You are eager to tell Rimos anything he wants to hear. You do not know him. I try with my eyes to signal you to say nothing. Father was going to make special arrangements so that no one would know about the general's illness and the operation. Rimos is attentive. He pulls the file from his desk and tells the guard to leave. As soon as the guard is gone, Rimos says, "Ah, special arrangements. That accounts for it." He sighs and makes some notes in his file. He straightens his shoulders as if he is bringing himself to attention, as if he is preparing himself for some task he wishes he could avoid, but that he will carry out because it is his duty. At last he says, "That is why General Lopez has ordered me to free one of you." I can see, Sylvia, that you are excited, even hopeful, but you have not been where I have been and experienced what I have. I wait. General Lopez will free one of you. He has ordered me to tell you that which one must be your choice. I say, "Sylvia." At the same moment you say, "Eduardo." Let me make myself plain, Rimos says. The one who remains a prisoner. He turns to you, Sylvia. Your brother could tell you what it is like. And let me assure you, things will go no easier for you because you are a girl. Perhaps one of you will wish to reconsider. Sylvia, listen to me, I plead. I have survived and I will survive. You must take this chance for freedom. Though it is against the rule, Rimos has let us speak to each other. He listens. He must hope we will give something away. You say, "If only I had not been such a fool, Eduardo, Father would have been able to save you. What has happened is all my doing. I nearly killed General Lopez's son when all I wanted was to find a way to free you. It's all my fault. General Lopez is furious with me. He wants to punish both of us." Rimos sits up in his chair. For a moment, he seems to forget that we are there. He says, "The general has carried out his own agenda in your arrests. That is not what an honorable soldier does. Our battle must not be about petty personal squabbles." Surreptitiously, I see him reach for his file and make some notes. As he replaces the file, he tests its thickness. He says, "I can't say that I will be able to help you, but the more information I have, the more just a decision I can make." He turns to you, Sylvia. Tell me exactly what happened. I'm afraid. I know this man. I have to speak. Don't say anything, Sylvia. It's just a trick to get you into more trouble. But you must already know, you say to him, or I wouldn't be here. I will tell you something, Rimos says. General Lopez is not a favorite of mine. There are some who believe that Lopez is destroying the honor and tradition of the military with his secret vendettas. There are men who could do his job as it should be done. men who would restore honor and integrity to the military. I see from his greedy look that Rimos believes he is such a man. That is why he makes notes on the general. He wants to destroy Lopez. All these months he has been silently nourishing his hatred. Now he cannot stop himself from speaking out. Rimos asks you, "How did you come to meet the general's son?" You hesitate, and then in a small voice you say, "I thought if I became friendly enough with General Lopez's son, he would get his father to let Eduardo go." How friendly? You blush. I want to leap across the desk and strangle the breath from Rimos. I try to move, but I am weak with my leg irons make me stumble. He sees my rage. He knows I will lose control, and then you might stop answering his questions. Quickly, he changes the subject and asks you, "Did you ever meet General Lopez himself?" "Oh yes, I went with Norberto, that's the general's son, to their summer home in Tigre." "Ah yes," Rimos says, "I know about the vacation home in Tigre. I wouldn't mind having a place in Tigre myself." He nudges the file, and I see that he thinks if he could get rid of Lopez, he might one day have what Lopez has. "What happened in Tigre?" he asks. "I met the general and his wife. She hates him." Rimos pounces. "How do you know that?" "She told me." You pause as if you have remembered something. "I don't know where all of this is leading, and I fear what is coming." "Yes?" Rimos encourages you. "When I left their apartment in Palermo, Norberto's mother gave me an envelope. I think there were things in it that belonged to General Lopez. She was angry with the general for the way he was raising Norberto. She said the envelope might save us." Rimos's face goes white, and then red. "Where is this envelope now?" You say, "I left it with my parents. I gave it to them when the police came to take me away." Rimos stands up. He says, "We are going to your house, but make no mistake, if what you tell me is true, if such an envelope exists, all may be well for you, for both of you. But if you are not telling me the truth, before I free one of you, both of you will find out how I treat liars." He calls the guard and tells him to put your handcuffs back on. Then he gives an order for a car to be brought around. When the guard looks puzzled at the order, Rimos shouts at him to hurry. You are placed in the back seat next to Rimos, and I am in the front seat next to the driver. As we take our places, I manage to brush your arm. The touch gives me stillness and a feeling that is almost like hope. Then I hear Rimos give our address, and it terrifies me. I don't want Rimos's devilry anywhere near our home. As we drive through the city, I am amazed that everything is as it was. How can that be? How has the world still gone on? The car pulls up, and I see Rimos study our house, a comfortable middle-class home. He says, "You had everything you could want. Why weren't you content with your lives? Why did you have to meddle in affairs that had nothing to do with you? What is it to you that happens to traitors that you don't know?" He tells the driver to wait in the car and prods us up the steps in front of him. Rimos pounds on the door. Father opens it. Mother is beside him. She places her hand over her mouth to keep from crying out. They reach for us, but Rimos threatens us with his gun. He forces his way into the house, showing us ahead of him. "All of you, stay quiet. I haven't come to arrest you," but he assures them. "Just listen and ask no questions. Your lives and the lives of your children will depend on what you tell me. You have an envelope that might have information on General Lopez." Father is unsure. After a moment he says, "I don't know what you mean. We have no such envelope." "Your daughter told me you have the envelope. Are you saying she lied?" "We had it," Mother says, her voice trembling, "but we burnt it." In his frustration, Rimos stalks up and down the room. He pauses to look again at Father, who stands there refusing to meet Rimos's probing stare. In his work, Rimos surely has learned to read the expressions of people under stress, to tell when they are lying. He believes Father has the envelope. "I don't know what to do. If it is true that Father has the information against General Lopez, it might save our lives. But once he has the envelope, would Rimos destroy our family? Our deaths would mean nothing to him." To Father, Rimos says, "I can tear your house apart. I can take your son and daughter back to prison, and you and your wife as well. Your son will tell you we have ways there of being persuasive. But all that takes time, and I'm a man in a hurry." Rimos releases the safety catch from his gun and points it at Mother. "I think I will never breathe again. Tell me where it is," he says to Father, "or I will kill her." Sylvia, we are helpless. If we move, he might shoot. He is a desperate man. We stand there shaking. But Father is a doctor and is also good at searching the expression of a man for the truth. He sees Remus means what he says. At once he goes to a cushion and with trembling fingers opens the blade of a pocket knife. Even in this he is a careful surgeon as he cuts open the cushion. The stuffing oozes out. He reaches inside and draws out an envelope. Then he hands it to Remus. With the gun in one hand, Remus thumbs through the papers. A contented smile crosses his face. He says, I am astounded at how much General Lopez's wife must hate her husband to place this evidence in the hands of his enemies. There is enough here to crush him beneath my boot like the cucaracha he is. Remus puts his gun back in its holster. He looks at us with a mild curiosity, as if he were leafing through a book and we caught his eye. I could kill the four of you. No one would question me. But I have had enough of doing General Lopez's dirty work. How furious he will be when he sees you have escaped, and how pleased his fury will make me. Remus reaches for the phone. We hear him give orders for 4 passports in our names. He says he must have 4 tickets to Madrid. Sylvia, he has what he wants. Remus is sending us to Spain.